Alright guys, the next thing I need to do is I need to add a text frame because I need to add whose portfolio is this. So if I go back to the toolbar, T for type, if you ever see this little tiny triangle in the bottom right hand corner, it means that there are hidden tools. Okay, so those hidden tools, if I go ahead and I right click on it, that's how I know there's this other tool. I'm not going to use this other tool, I just wanted you to be aware of it. So sometimes you need something that's hidden. Okay, so once I have the T for type, I know it's the to type because look at the cursor changes. I'm just going to click and drag the text frame right in between my margins right there. And so now I have a frame that I can type in, okay? So I want to see how the control panel up here changes. It adjusts based on whatever you are using. So this will, you can see as I'm doing different things, this top changes. So right now I have this particular font. This is the actual type within the family. It's a regular version, but there's also usually, like in a lot of font families, you might have a bold, you might have black, you might have italics. Anyways, I'm going to switch this because that's not my preferred. That's the default. And so a little hint, if you're always using the default, it tends to look a little bit boring. So I like Futura. I'm going to use Futura Book. And so if I click on that, I have an entire list of this font family. So it's a nice big family, so I have lots of options to choose. That's just me personally. I tend to stay away. There'll be those fonts that designers will be like, stay away from. Don't use, don't use Comic Sans. I highly would tell you, do not use Comic Sans. Don't use curls. Don't use any of those. You can just Google it, see which fonts you really not want to use, because you really want to base on what looks the cleanest with your artwork, what's going to work with the look, and you don't want the font to distract from your actual illustration work. So I'm going to keep it with the book. I'm going to leave it for 12 points for now. I can always change it. So this is the point size right here, 12 points. That means how many points, I forget, this is so long ago, but I used to know like how many points equal into 1 inch. I forget what the rules are, but you can always Google that. But you get basic size. If you go higher, it makes point size, it's going to make the type bigger. If you go lower, it's going to make it smaller. Okay, I'm going to leave this by default. This is basically how much of a distance there is between baselines, and the baseline is from the bottom of one letter set to the bottom of the next row of letters. Okay, we're not going to go over this part right now. I'm leaving everything else, but I'm going to go over to something called alignment. So right now it is left aligned. See, it's aligned to the left of the frame. I want it to be centered, so I left click on that, and now it's center. I'm going to type in my name using my keyboard. If I want to make this larger, I'm going to left click and highlight all of that. So always think, if it's selected, it's affecting it. Okay, so when I would teach this to my students when we're doing like magazine designs or different kinds of layouts for ads, if it's not selected, nothing's going to happen. So if you don't, do that. So click on here, and maybe I want it a little bit larger. Maybe I want to go 14. Maybe I want to do 18. That 18 is a little bit too big, but I will do 14 for now. All right. And then I want to put in maybe the year. Because this is 2020, I just rather make it for the next year. You might also want to include information like, I'm going to highlight that and just delete it. And actually I want more spacing between that, so I am going to go to my window, and I want to go to type tables. I want to go to characters, so have that pop up, boom, there it is, because you're going to get more options in your characters panel. Okay, so like I said, I could do it here, but I don't know, I like having all these other options here, so I think I'm going to spread it out a little bit. Nope, it's not enough. I think I like 18 or 24. And then I can always use my W key. Yeah, I like it better closer together like that. I'm going to hit my W key again to go to normal view. Okay, so contact information is always important, so I'm going to bring it down, just hitting return a couple of times, and then I'm going to make this smaller. I know I want it to be smaller. And then I'm going to go, we'll try 11. And so I'm going to put in my website. And you could use something to separate, you know, I put the straight line, some people do a bullet point. If you want a bullet point, you're going to do the option plus the number 8 on a Mac keyboard. If there's a character you don't know, you're like, I don't know what that character, you can always go to Window, go to Type and Tables, and there's something called glyphs. Okay, so glyphs are the individual letters right here of a particular font, and it will show you every available. Okay, this shows my recent. I just want entire font, and then I can see everything here. And I can just scroll down, and if I need to find something in particular, because I don't know like what keys to hit for it, you know, so that happens sometimes. So I also want to include my email. And I'm going to preview it. And, you know, I might, and this is me, you could add a phone number, you could add other contact information. Maybe I need to bring it closer. Maybe I need to bring, you know, the year. Maybe that would be better. And then put the year. So you can play around with it and see what you would prefer. I'll put a little bit of leading. And I think for now, and then if I want to just move the actual text frame, maybe I want to move it away from the actual icon or my logo, I can left click and drag and move it down as needed and my smart guides pop up. Okay, I'm kind of happy with this. I think I'm okay with that. So anyways, now I'm going to hit Command S to save, and I want to show you the next step, which is turning this into a master page. All right, stay tuned.